Hey, what's up guys? Jaman here, Monster Gadgets. I hope you're all having a wonderful day wherever you might be. Thank you so much for joining me. And today, as you can see, we are back in the Tesla Model 3 Performance, and I'm gonna take my car to a couple different parking lots and test out and see how well the smart summons feature actually works. So we're gonna start off with maybe a little bit of an empty parking lot, then get into more of a crowded parking lot, but more importantly, maybe try out a couple different parking lots where you have, where you pull into a parking spot kind of at an angle versus straight, so that way it's kind of like a one-way street in that parking zone. So we'll try and see how well this actually works. I'm curious to try it out. I haven't really had an opportunity to do it outside of one time that I tried it at the gym, and it worked fairly well, but I'm curious to see what it will be like in a couple different environments. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and leave my GoPro on so you guys can get a view of the inside of the car while the car is actually moving around. And of course I'll have an other camera with me and my phone, and I'm going to go ahead and summon it so you get angles from both sides. So me actually holding the phone and calling the car to me, as well as the inside view of the cabin and what's going on with the car. So I'm going to go ahead and step out. I'll show you what this parking lot's like. It's pretty empty. So we'll do a first basic test and see how well this works. Alright guys, so here is test number one. I am basically in a parking lot that is fairly empty. We've got a LA Fitness here, Amazon Fresh, and Monster is right there. So it's basically, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 lanes of parking spots over. So I'm going to go ahead and call it from there as a first test to see how well this works. There's really not much traffic here, so I'm not overly concerned. And of course we can go ahead and stop it as soon as something goes wrong, which hopefully it will not. So I've got the app here, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Summons. Smart Summon. It's got the location there, as you guys can see. And let's see how well this works. Go to Target, preparing to summon. You guys can see there the car is starting to turn and come towards me. I'm hoping that it's not going to hit the median there. That's kind of a bit nerve-wracking. It's turning, good. Doing a great job so far. And here it comes. So far so good. Right on target. And there it is. Here's the car, here's the phone. It made it. Did great. So I would say test number one is a pass. What do you guys think? Alright, here is test number two. We're in an actual parking spot in between two cars now, and I'm going to go to the front of the store. So this is going to be a little bit more involved, and I will carefully do it to where I'm going to try to do it where there's some cars approaching, but not too many. So we'll have to see how well this works. Here we go. So the idea for this test is like a real life test, to where, let's just say for example, you come out of the store and it's raining or something and you want the car to come to you. So right now Monster is over there right behind that tree. I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera, but let's go ahead and call it and see if it comes to us and how well it does. So I still have full sight. Here is what it shows on the phone. Car is over there. There's actually somebody walking by. I'm gonna wait for him to leave. There is a car coming right here, so let's go ahead and start it. Coming out of the spot, okay. Nope. That was going to be a huge fail. Check that out. it's about to run into this handicapped spot. That would have been bad. So I immediately lifted my finger, otherwise it was going to go ahead and hit this handicap sign here. That was awfully close, as you guys can see here. So that was a complete fail. That did not work out at all, and if I had not let go of my finger, I would assume this would have crashed into that. So try number 2 was a fail, unfortunately. Alright guys, you just saw exactly what happened. Not sure why it decided to go through the parking spot instead of actually going through the parking lanes. But that was a failure. So now I'm gonna go to a different spot, a different parking lot, and we'll try it there and see how well it works. But that was not even close. That was a complete failure. And so, I mean, I know this is still kind of working its way out. Obviously, there's a lot of updates that are supposed to come out and make this 100% or close to 100% workable. But that was not a good call. So let's go ahead and try it in a different spot, different parking lot altogether, and see if we get any different results. All right, here is test number 3. So we're in a whole different location, whole different parking lot, and I'll show you what this looks like from the outside. It is directional, meaning there's one lane that comes into each parking. So I'm curious to see if this will even pick that up, or is it just gonna go wherever it wants to and get to, or try to get to me. So let's see how test number 3 works out. Alright guys, so I am in another parking lot, as I mentioned, inside the car. So as far as the directional parking spots, this is kind of what I was talking about. As you guys can see on the road there are arrows that tell you which way to come in and which way to go out. So right now I parked Monster over there, and I'm gonna see if I can call it over to myself. This is going to be a bit more tricky because we are in a parking lot that is obviously a little bit busier than what it would be. So I'm curious to see how well it works here. A bit nervous, as you can imagine. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and start summon. I have no idea why it's showing us this huge route that it's going to take, but nonetheless, let's see if you can hit the program button here, and let's see if you can call it to me. Here we go. Let's see what it does. Nope, that is not going to work out well. That is already making me nervous, just because there's a car parked on that side and it's already turning the steering wheel that way to go towards that car, which is not what we want, and this other car came right in front of it. So that is not going to work. I am not going to risk doing that from here. So let me show you what I'm talking about, what it exactly did. So it started turning the steering wheel, as you guys can see here, to the left driver's side, and there's a car parked right here. So we're basically not even a parking spot away. So maybe it would have straightened itself out, I'm not sure, but I really got nervous and I stopped it, and we're not gonna continue with that operation. On a good note, if it was gonna come through, it technically would have come through here, and the arrow is actually going to go this way. Maybe that's why it was going to do a longer route to go all the way down and basically come back around to me where I was standing over there. That would have worked, except this made me really nervous and I stopped it. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Would you have let it go and risked it, or would you have done what I did and basically stopped the car, so, or got nervous or whatnot? So I would say test number 3 is also a fail, in my opinion. So let's go somewhere where we have more room, where there isn't as many cars, and test it out there to see how well it works. All right guys, same type of parking lot, directional, and now we're in a spot where it's fairly open. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can have a little bit more flexibility in trying to see what goes wrong, what goes right with this call. So let's go at it. Alright guys, again, same type of parking lot, directional. This is a little bit more open, a little bit less cars. So Monster's over there, and I am going to go ahead and walk towards here and see if I can call it. Now, in a perfect world, actually I'm gonna go on this side. In a perfect world, I parked where the car can back out and come this way. So I'm curious to see if it's gonna do that or if it's gonna go forward and basically come around this way to me. So let's go ahead and give it a shot and see what it does. Based on what it's showing here, it's most likely going to go straight forward and try to come around, which would actually be the wrong way. So I'll let it go, but I'm not going to have it come to the main street here or the main, busy area. I'll probably just stop it earlier because it looks like it's going to be going the wrong way. So let's try it out. I'm going to go ahead and press down. It's going to activate it, and here it comes. There is a car coming forward, so let's see what it does here. It's gonna stop. And yes, it is. No, it turned the right way. Now there's another car coming. Let me go ahead and stop it there, since there's another car coming this way. And we'll see what it does. People are looking. I don't know if they're looking at. Of course, right when I start recording, I guess we get real life examples here. So there's 3 cars that came up. And we'll see what it does here after these cars pass. Alright, so someone is stopping. I'm not sure why it's stopping. Alright, now it came back on, so I'm gonna go ahead and press the button again. And let it come to us. There's the car. So there's a car pulling out. I stopped it here. We'll let this car pass by as well and then see what happens here. Alright, hopefully this time it's going to make it to us. I'm going to go ahead and press down again. Cannot find clear path. Summons is stopping. Alright, it looks like it's got something, because now it says press and hold to start. Let's try again. Lights blinking. Alright, and it says waiting for path to clear, and it is coming. So let's see how well this comes. So far so good. So far so good. Sweet. That was pretty close. Come to me. Since this is a one-way street, it is actually okay for it to be in the middle. So I would say that was a success with a little bit of tweaking, if you will. So that worked out pretty well. It did come in one direction. It did not go on the wrong side of the road. So I am pretty pleased with that test. All right, final test here. I am at a movie theater now, and while there are some cars in front of me, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the entrance of the movie theater, call it over, and see if we can get this to work. Final test, here we go. All right, so this is the AMC show place. As you guys can see, there are some people here, a lot of cars. There's Monster, and I purposely parked in the open. I'm gonna go ahead and walk towards more of the entrance, so that way I can still have my eyes on it and get a good view, but still be able to call it over for a little bit more distance. So for example, let's just say we came out of these doors and we want the car to come to us. It's right over there. Let's go ahead and summon it. Let's see. Here we go, connecting to vehicle, smart summon. And right now the path, oh there you go, the path changed, which is wonderful. I'm not sure why the target is where it's at, because I am not exactly, there we go, now it's updated. Alright, let's go ahead and call it. Come to me, press and hold. Here it comes. Using his turn signal, good job. Good, did an assessment. Making a turn, coming to me. I think this is going to be a success unless it goes in the middle of the road somehow. somewhat in the middle of the road. It made it to us. Still doing something. There we go. All right, so it made it to us. It did kind of stay in the middle of the road somewhat, kind of on the side, not exactly straight, but I would call that a success. I think that went really well. It came relatively fast, which is nice. Obviously, there wasn't really much for it to go around. That could be why, but I did like the fact that it didn't take too long for it to come to me directly. So again, middle of the road. I mean, it's on the side of the road, but somewhat middle. It could have been a little bit closer to the curve. It probably would have made me nervous if it did, so I'm actually glad that it did kind of come to the middle of the road. And keep in mind, guys, that this is something where it's still developing, and if you were to call it to yourself, you're keeping an eye on it, and when it does come to you, you want to make sure that there's no traffic nearby. So you're not going to be standing around a whole lot waiting for it, meaning that, you know, if it stops, you basically jump in and go. So this wouldn't be a huge issue if it was in the middle of the road. So all right, guys, that's it for the test today, or test. All right, guys, that's it for the test today. Some interesting results in my opinion. Overall, I am pleased with the way it responded. I think there's obviously room for improvement, which we all know about, but I wanted to just get a feel of how well it works. So I think overall it's 50-50 for the time being, and I can't wait for it to be developed a little bit more, where we can certainly depend on it a little bit more than these 4 tests. Now, keep in mind that these 4 tests were just in my area with the settings that I had around the car at the moment. It doesn't mean that that's what it's going to be for everyone. The car is going to respond differently to different conditions and different parking spots, different locations, and things like that. So for me, in these 4 tests, I am pleased with it, except for the fact that it almost crashed. Outside of that, it was fairly decent in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you have Smart Summon and you've tried it yourself, what are some of the results that you had? I would love to hear that from you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't